order. To let you show your video, I need to make you a host for some weird reason. So I need you to make me host back after you open your video.
Okay. Great. Hi, everyone. Let's make you the host.
Thanks. Awesome. So welcome everyone. We'll wait for 5 more minutes until we'll start. I'm very excited to run this session today. We have a few guests as well today. I will present them later because there are some fascinating use cases for using generative AI with different use cases for writers in tech and in general. And we'll share some live case studies, which is something that is very important to me. People are asking about the recordings. Yes, we're going to share the recordings as well. So everyone will get the recordings. In the meantime, make sure that when you write in the chat, write to everyone and not only to host and panelists. And in the meantime, you can write here in the chat where you are in the world right now. So say hi, drop a line about where you are in the world right now. Usually we have very international events, so it's going to be cool. So Nicole is from South Carolina and Excel from Paris. Hello, Excel. And greetings from Amsterdam. Hey, Adi. And Indonesia and Denmark and Minnesota and Spain and Canada and Barcelona. Krakow, Poland. Hey, Peter, how are you? Good to see you. We have Ellie from Israel and Bangalore, India, which is wild. So we have 100 people right now. A lot of people signed up for this event, to be honest. So it's going to be really fun, and I'm very happy to have you here today. It was very difficult for me to collect the different use cases that are relevant for writers in tech, because I've been experimenting with this tool for the past month, but I think I managed. So I want this session to be more of an interactive session where you talk in the chat, you give us your comments, your feedback. We could run stuff through AI even during this session. And I will answer all of the questions that you have, because at the end of the day, there are a lot of different use cases for writers in tech to use this type of tools. The world is getting a bit crazy right now. And in my opinion, it's important to be on top of that in order to stay relevant and to pass that knowledge forward to our fabulous community members, as we always do. So that's about it. I see Ireland, Berlin, Spain. So basically people from all over the world. Very, very happy to have you here. And I have Rachel from Israel. That's awesome. So okay, let's wait for a few more minutes. Oh, I hope you can hear me okay. Can you hear me like I'm speaking from a mic? Is my sound clear?
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Thanks. And yep, let's just share the screen real quick. Hold on. And blah, 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 blah. I see that Chandler raised their hand. Chandler, feel free to say, I don't know if it's on purpose or not. Okay. So hello, everyone. Welcome to another event brought to you by the UX Writing Hub, where we bring industry experts to talk about everything UX writing, everything writers in tech. And my name is Yuval. I am the founder of the UX Writing Hub and the host of the Writers in Tech podcast. And I've been experimenting with the AI tools lately. I will share more stories afterwards. We will start with a guest that I have today. So let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, so hello everyone. Very happy to be here, very excited. I hope I will manage to communicate all of the different amazing use cases that ChatGPT and Midjourney, which is a generative art tool, could do for you and help you in your career to create conversational experience, to do user research, to do content marketing and practically everything. But we need to use this type of tools responsibly and understand that these tools are very limited and they can say lies, for example, with confidence. So we need to be very careful and cautious when using them. And so I'll show you the different use cases, the different prompts that I use lately, and how they help me and the clients of the UX Writing Hub, for example, and also other people in the world. And we will start with the story of Nir Gottlieb. So let me just share my screen real quick. Okay, so everyone can see my screen? Perfect. Okay, so as I said, today we'll cover the use cases of graphics, UX, research, content marketing, and general ChatGPT use cases. And we will start with the story of Nir Gottlieb. Nir is a history and computer science teacher, a philosophy graduate student, and an AI enthusiast. I've been familiar with Nir's work for the past few years now, so I'm very happy to have you here. His story actually got him some fame here in Israel, and I think it's worth sharing. So without further ado, Nir, let's dive right in.
Thanks, Yuval. Okay, Yuval, I'll just give you a note to pass the slide when necessary. Okay, so look at this image to my next to my face here. And this is an image I actually took effortlessly, really, with it took maybe 5 minutes of work through my phone with Midjourney. For those of you who've been experimenting with Midjourney in the past few weeks since version 4, it shouldn't be surprising. Midjourney produces amazing quality of images with zero effort. So this image, I got inspired with some other work I saw that somebody generated from pastel colors spills or pastel colors like melting, and I thought it would be nice. I see that some people have trouble with audio. Is it a general problem?
I can hear you clearly.
Okay, no problem.
Can everyone hear Nir's okay? Okay,
yeah.
Yes, it's fine.
Okay, great.
By the way, 250 people here. Welcome, everyone, and very excited to have you here.
Everyone. Very exciting people from all over the world. So thanks again, Yuval. So I took this image really effortlessly, and I was inspired by a different work that I saw from someone. I don't remember even who it was, like on a general feed of some Facebook group of pastel colors melting, and I thought it would be very nice to have some pastel colors screaming. I sorted all of a lot of variations Midjourney gave me, and finally I said, okay, let's add sunglasses. And practically that's it. This is not the prompt of this image is maybe in the end 5, 6, 7 words. Not too much, not those long prompts that need expertise even in prompt writing. But I had the imagination to just visualize a pastel color spill with sunglasses, screaming. And that's it. And I got really excited about this image and other images I managed to produce via Midjourney. And it began with a talk with a friend of mine, and I told him, look at this crazy look at this crazy quality of an image that Midjourney just produced from one sentence. And this friend told me, listen, this could be hanged up in some advertising agency, like a professional agency that might have, if we would have talked a month ago or 6 months ago, you would have thought this image came from like a very professional industry level agency, advertising agency. And this sentence I just went with me. Like I ruminated on this sentence that this guy told me about this industry level agency, advertising agency that could produce such images. And then I thought, will somebody ever pay for something like this? Like, this is industry level. I produced other images. I said this could easily, those images I produced with zero effort could easily be advertising for products. Will somebody pay for that? And so I said, let's do an experiment. I turned to Fiverr. And I said, okay, I'll create a service in Fiverr for $5, as the name says. For $5, I will create Midjourney images for your marketing, for marketing. And that's what I started with. And Yuval, can you turn the next slide, please? And I went to Fiverr, and I struggled with the headline a bit. I went to Fiverr and I said, in the service headline, I said, okay, I will produce Midjourney images for digital marketing, and Fiverr just stopped me right away and said, your headline is too long. Your headline should be shorter. And I said, okay, if I'm struggling, let's go to ChatGPT, the second amazing tool AI that emerged in the AI ecosystem recently. And I just asked ChatGPT, write gig headline for Fiverr that starts with "I will." A bit before, I just pasted what my long gig headline and asked him what he thought about it, and he suggested ways to rephrase it and stuff like that. But then let's see how a gig headline should look like. And ChatGPT was spot on. He gave me 10 options. It gave me 10 options of really short and concise gig headlines for Fiverr. And in the end of the day, well, next slide. After consulting with ChatGPT a bit, I took this headline: I will use Midjourney to create high quality visuals for marketing. And that's it. I didn't have the stars yet. This is a screenshot I took later. I didn't have the ratings and the stars. I had nothing. I had only this headline. And with the help of Fiverr, the Fiverr's amazing onboarding tool, within 15 minutes or 20 minutes, I had my Fiverr profile with this headline, and I had three programs, three levels of services. I have the basic, the advanced, and the premium. The basic was $5 for an image. The advanced was $10 for 3 images, and the premium was 12 images for $30. And it really made me laugh. Like all of a sudden, I'm creating like a service, a paid service as a designer, and I'm not a designer. As Yuval told you, I'm a teacher. I came from a UX design background, but I can't really design. I don't know anything about Photoshop, Illustrator. I'm actually colorblind. I'm really far away from any design qualification, but I'm creating now a service, and I giggled from this thought. It made me almost laugh. But I said, okay, how would anyone know about my new service now, my new Fiverr gig? And So I said, okay, I need to market it a bit. My new Fiverr gig, my new service, I need to market it. And so I said, okay, what shall I do? I'll turn to GPT again. And this is the next slide. Not this one. Yep. I turned to GPT again, and I told GPT, okay, just write a Facebook post for me about AI and about AI and Midjourney and how they are related to marketing and branding. And ChatGPT just wrote a very well worded, a very good Facebook post about how Midjourney and AI art are disrupting the fields of marketing and branding. And he just he wrote it perfectly well. And I said, okay, this is good enough. I'm going to post it on like those huge Facebook groups, marketing Facebook groups of marketing professionals. And I literally wrote marketing on the Facebook search and search for groups, and went to those huge marketing groups that have over 200,000 users in them, and just posted it. Most groups declined my post because they saw it's self-promotion. So most groups declined it, but one or two groups allowed it because it had content. Thanks to ChatGPT, it had real content about AI art. So here's my post in the next slide. Yep, there it is.
This one. No.
This one with the image. Yeah, 17.
That's the one, sorry.
Yeah, no problem. So here's my post. I tweaked. I took only the first paragraph and I tweaked a bit. I changed the ChatGPT asked a question to open the Facebook post. I replaced the question to a statement, and I added an image that I created in Midjourney. And just added at the bottom, hit me up on my Fiverr page for visuals you need for your marketing efforts, and link to my Fiverr page. And then all I had to do is wait. I said, okay, I created, it took me 20 minutes. It took me 5 minutes to create this image, or 10 minutes to create this, the images those images I made in Midjourney. It took me 20 minutes to create my Fiverr page. And then it took me 10 more minutes to create a Facebook post and post it in some huge marketing professional groups. So all in all, it took me less than an hour of my time to create and promote my new design business, my new design gig, as there's no title for it, but as a freelance designer selling images to customers. It didn't take 24 hours, and I got a message through Fiverr. This then the next slide, or we will find the slide. Yep, this one. And it didn't take 24 hours, and I got a message from an obscure user called AVSNJ in 1974. It didn't even make the effort to put a question mark at the end with like some broken English, but I understood he needed images for a soap label. He was probably selling soap, I guess liquid soap, but I don't know. And he wanted, and here was the first problem. He wanted me to put the ingredients in it, and in his next message, he wanted he gave me the fragrance of this soap and the list of ingredients. So I answered that I simply can't provide the simple service of creating a label with the ingredients because I don't know how to use Photoshop. I'm not I'm not a designer, but I still can make stunning images, as you can see here beside his message. And I said, I can make you the illustrations, but I can't make the ingredients list. So I sent him the illustration you see on the left. The fragrance was sweet oranges and cranberries. And I just went to Midjourney, wrote I wrote orange and cranberry pieces floating in the air. I sorted a bit through the variations. Again, it took me less than 10 minutes to create the images, sort through the variations, pick one, and I just sent him a free sample. I didn't even know if this will, because he had this thing with the ingredients, I didn't even know if it would satisfy him, but I sent him for free because it was really effortless. I sent them the picture on the left here of the oranges. And I said, is that good? Does that help you? And the guy said, great, that's really good. And he sent me $5 and rated me with 5 stars on Fiverr. And I told him, great, do you need anything else? And he said, yes, I have another one. And this time the fragrance is tea leaves and hibiscus leaves and something like that. So I used the Midjourney tool to copy the URL of an image inside the prompt to get the same style. And I wrote tea leaves and hibiscus leaves, hemp leaves floating in the air, similar prompt to the first one, with the link to the first image in the prompt, and a few variations later, and I got the image on the right. This user, which I don't even know his name is AVSNJ, was really happy, and he said, "Great, this is great," and he sent me another $5, and gave me another 5-star rating. And this is how I got in the first screenshot to 2 ratings of 5 stars. And I told them, and so I got really excited. I made my first $10 as a freelance designer with zero qualification in design, and even with a bad color vision, as I know from when I was since I'm a child. Since I'm a little kid, I know I have bad color vision, but still, I managed to do it, and I made my first $10 through Fiverr, and all with the help of Midjourney and ChatGPT. And I got greedy. I sent AVSNJ the message. Listen, I have a premium package. My premium package of 12 images for $30. Please feel free to drop me a message whenever you need it. I'll make you as many stomp labels as you want. I didn't word it like this, but this was the message. And no, that's it, Yuval. That's it,
Yes, I
Yuval.
know. So thank you, Lord. Thank you so much for the lovely story. And Neil, like it's like you're not like be using right now.
Yuval,
Really happy.
your sound now is distorted.
All right. So, can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, now it's great.
Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, that was a nice opener. I'm going to cover stuff that is like how we can incorporate ChatGPT and stuff in our daily work. But I wanted to start with Neil's story as an experiment to see, all right, what are the opportunities here for people? Because I'll tell you a story. 1 month ago, I had this experiment with ChatGPT when I ran it. I took a very famous chef in Israel dishes. This chef is very poetic, and I took the way that he described the dishes and I ran it through ChatGPT through Midjourney, sorry. And actually that story got me to the national news here in Israel with all of the different paintings that I've created. So it was kind of wild being on national TV myself, because I'm not by no means a person that is regular to that type of attention, but it's kind of crazy the type of opportunities that exist today and the change that happened in the last month or so. Some people asked, what's your process for using Midjourney? I'm not going to dive too much into that today because it's not a Midjourney workshop, but you can use it, for example, to create even, I did some experiments before this session today. So I did some UI concepts basically, and this is the prompt that I gave it. And you can use even ChatGPT to create this type of prompts, and then it paints it to you. And you can add this type of mockups, for example, to your own mockups to present to clients, or to incorporate it with your design somehow. So that's kind of wild. Just for the experiment. So this is how I do it. You go to the Discord channel of the Midjourney bot. If you're interested to learn more about it, just shoot me an email. I would love to help you, but basically you need to go to here, say imagine, and then whatever I'm going to write is going to appear. Does anyone want to give me a prompt real quick here in the chat, and I will run it through, and then we'll get back to it by the end of the talk? Anyone in the chat? Okay, people writing Dragonfly. Let's give it a spin. So we'll get back to it afterwards. But but now basically, okay, so it will take a few minutes. I will just go back to it afterwards. So yes, this is ChatGPT, and this is the tool in case you're not familiar with it. It's by OpenAI, which is a company that is doing AI related stuff. I think that Elon Musk have part of it. I think that Microsoft is in the process of acquiring it. And I found some really, really useful use cases for UX writers specifically, and for writers in tech. And I'll show you, okay, I see. Dog love hitting the banana. Let's do that one as well, just for fun. So imagine, let's give it a spin. Perfect. So let's cover the UX use cases, basically. So is there anyone here that is familiar with the concept of conversation mining by any chance? Perfect. So conversation mining is a term that we've coined at the UX Writing Hub. Some people know about it, some people don't know about it. But what we do when we do conversation mining is when you analyze your users' conversations and the way that they talk about the product that you're about to write for. For example, let's say that you work for Gong.io, and hold on. So you basically go through the way that your customers talk about your products and services, analyze the pain points that they have through their conversations, analyze also the way that the different type of keywords that they're even using. Okay, so I found a really interesting use case for ChatGPT to analyze conversations. So the way that it worked, let me see if I can grab it real quick. ChatGPT is a bit slow right now, but basically I took a lot of different reviews from a product named Gong.io, which is a very famous Israeli SaaS platform. And then basically I took many reviews of people about this tool. And then I asked ChatGPT to analyze what are the main keywords that we see that are repeating during those different reviews. And then we saw different words like accurate insights, sales enablement, communication, sales technique, coaching, guidance, progress, effectiveness. And basically what we do in conversation mining is incorporating words that our users are using in online conversations and putting them in the UI. And here, ChatGPT did all of the heavy lifting for us related to data analysis. When it comes to the actual mining of the conversation, you just put the conversation over there, and ChatGPT do the mining for you. So that's something. So that's something that is pretty cool. Erin, definitely you can use it to analyze chat conversation logs. That's a pretty interesting use case as well. After I put the reviews, I'm not asking only what are the main keywords, I also ask what are the main customer pain points. And then I can understand the pain points based on my customers' actual discussions. Erin brought a really interesting idea to put conversation logs. So for sure, you can take previous data of your users. You can take transcripts of conversations with your users and basically analyze them using this magnificent tool. So the prompt that I used, so the way that I did conversation mining, so let's say I'm going to, the name is Gong IO reviews. So let's say that I'm analyzing the reviews of Gong IO. I'm not affiliated with Gong by any chance, but it's just an example. So I'm just taking a few reviews and I'm doing it very manually. I'm just copy and pasting the different data here. So you have a lot of different reviews. So you can take the data from the reviews like that. And the way I did it was something like, these are customers' reviews. And sorry in advance if I have typos. Sorry about that. So these are customer reviews of Gong IO. You can put your own product over there. And then you can just copy and paste the different things that you can find. Okay, I'm just doing it very raw right now. And then I'm saying, what are the main keywords and main pain points of the users, all right? So that's an error occurred because that's how it works, right? You have an error when you try to do something. Let's give it another spin. Okay. So yes, the main keywords, blah, 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 blah. And that's more or less about it. Okay. And you can do a follow-up questions if it doesn't answer your questions, or you can add more reviews and so on. You can't paste the URL and ask GPT to crawl, unfortunately. So that's the use case for conversation mining. And let me move forward. So that's like one example. So the next example, the next example is also pretty interesting. So the UX Writing Academy by the UX Writing Hub, we work on a project named Butter Robotics. So one of the students, his name is Tennessee, created user personas for Butter Robotics. And one of the persona, basically Butter Robotics is this app that helps you to take animation tools and then animate robots' interactions in real life. So you can use Blender or different animation tools, you animate it, and then the robot interacts with actual objects in real life. So one of the students, Tennessee, created user personas, pretty basic. So forget about the fact that you can use ChatGPT to create personas, which is one thing that you can do. In this specific case, Tennessee did his own research and managed to come up with this specific persona. But the interesting part that I found fascinating is that you can feed ChatGPT with your persona, and then you can say, pretend that you're that person. And then you could understand more about that specific persona from ChatGPT point of view. And then you can basically do some kind of a user interview about how they interact with an app like that, how they use it. So you could actually interview ChatGPT as they pretend basically to be your persona. So that's another example of how to use ChatGPT and so on. So obviously you need to look at it and it doesn't necessarily say that what it says is what's actually happening, but it can give you pretty interesting ideas, and you can bounce back and forth ideas and brainstorm with the ChatGPT. So building persona, doing user interviews, conversation mining, those are pretty awesome use cases. Another one is competitor analysis. So here, basically, we took Gong.io, and I said Gong.io is an app that's helping salespeople to optimize, sorry for the typos again, sales goals. Give me a list of all of their competitors, another typo. And then it gives you a list of all of the competition. So instead of paying someone on Fiverr to do list buildings of competitions, or instead of doing it yourself, basically using Google, you can actually get info about all of your competition. You can even cross some data points and say, hey, what's the difference between cross.ai and Gong.io? And then you'll have some ideas about how they're different from each other. So a lot of research related stuff. Another interesting use cases. So yes, Daniel is saying that the data is limited up to 2021. By the way, ChatGPT, there is a chance that it's not going to be open to everyone anymore. There is a chance that they're going to ask for payments soon to use this tool. So I recommend to use it as much as you can right now, if you can. So definitely I would be cautious with incorrect assumptions, of course. I would take it with a tablespoon. I wanted to say something. Yeah, so this is based on GPT-3. People say that OpenAI are going to roll out GPT-4 during 2023, which means way more data points, updated data, and so on. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work, but we will be on the watch out for you and make sure to update the community members about everything that is changing. As I said, half of the results can be false, but don't forget that half of them could be right. So it can save you some heavy lifting and a lot of time. Another example is learning about complicated ideas. So a lot of time when I join a new project, so the product is extremely complicated and I need to understand new technologies, new ideas really fast. So I can basically say to ChatGPT, describe me a very complicated idea like I'm 5 years old. And then it gives you some interesting point of views about that. Marisol is asking, can Midjourney export artwork in vector formats? Not at this point, not that I know of, but I can show you a cool trick using a tool named background remover AI, where you can remove backgrounds. That's how I do it basically. And then it's not a vector, but it's without background. And then I can use it in my designs. There is a question over here by Faith about the persona. So sorry to take you back. I have questions about the user persona though. The persona is usually created based on what primary research shows. How would that work with ChatGPT? It seems it's guessing. You're correct. It's definitely guessing. What differentiates us from copywriters who need no research to do their work? Just curious. In my opinion, every copywriter needs to do research work. Every good writing starts with research, in my personal opinion. Okay, so that's my tip for learning complicated idea. Let's say that you work in a new robotics company, AI company, and you don't understand basic mathematical concepts. So you can use ChatGPT to describe it for you instead of Google it, right? So you can do it like that, and you can follow up and say, wait, I didn't get it, explain it again with a different metaphor. And then you could relearn it basically. So that's one more example. Oh, so this is, I have some slides all over the place. I was supposed to show you these slides before. So this is the prompt that I gave to about conversation mining before. Sorry about that. Right now, we're going for a story by Megan Leowich from our team about how she used ChatGPT to do email writing for one of our clients. Megan, take it away.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Let me make you a host real quick so you can open your camera.
Okay.
and then bring me back to be a host after. Okay, I think you are a host now, are you?
Looks like it. Yep.
Oh,
all right.
I'm not able
Oh,
to.
but then, yeah. Should I hand that back to you?
Yes, hand it back to me. You don't have to close the camera though.
What do I need to do?
Just bring me back the options to be a host. You don't have to close your camera.
Oh,
Sorry about that, everyone. It's slightly technical difficulty. In the meantime, I would say that Megan and I have been working with one of our clients, and they told us, Megan, you just need to go next to my name under panelist, and then more, and then make host. Or I can
okay.
reclaim.
Sorry.
All good. And then we basically use ChatGPT to rewrite email for a client. Okay.
I'm not seeing. There we go. Okay. Okay. So for my part, I guess up until this point, I had been using ChatGPT, I think the way most people are. I've had it write me jokes and poems. I ran in my master's thesis statement to see how quickly it could write it compared to what I did. And in the back of my mind was, is this going to make me as a UX writer irrelevant? And how can I use it to leverage my work? And I guess the good news on the relevant side was up till this point, I've been working with a company on rewriting their dashboard. And the terms in there are too nuanced for ChatGPT to really help me. So that was a case where I found the suggestions I got weren't super helpful. But when they asked me to rewrite an email for them, I thought it was a great opportunity to give it a whirl. And so I ran it in I put in the exact copy that the company sent me. And then I tried it a few different ways. So they first asked it to rewrite for clarity. And I took a look at what it gave me back. And then in the same feed, I asked, could we make it more friendly? So I got another version that just kind of gave it a little bit more of the tone I was looking for. And then I thought, well, let's just see what else we can do. So I added in, can you write for humor? And that gave me a couple of extra lines that I was able to apply to the final version that I used. I guess one thing that I did find that was really important for using ChatGPT for this particular work was context. And the more context I gave it in my scenario, the better the results I got back. So who will be receiving the communication, the type of communication it is, the type of company that is putting this out, the purpose of the communication, and even things like saying visually scannable. It all went back into the type of output that I got from ChatGPT. And so ultimately I was able to, and I was kind of playing around, but in about 30 to 45 minutes total, run through 4 or 5 different versions from ChatGPT, and then of course apply sort of my human eyes to it and make sure that it had accomplished what the company needed me to accomplish, and then send back a final draft, probably a lot quicker than I could have done on my own without having had all the ideas jumping off for me.
That's awesome. And it's important to say that the clients were extremely happy with the results. And it's interesting because you can basically, ChatGPT can help you with your productivity, basically, to have more iterations of any type of writing, to bounce back and forth ideas, even if their ideas, if the robot's ideas are not that great, you can bounce different ideas, follow up and iterate and improve that, which is pretty much awesome. So it's awesome that we had the chance to do that lately. It happened last week, literally. And we're currently experimenting more as we go. And Via Atas is saying, Via, good to see you, that the new art is knowing how to write a prompt with the most accurate context. So many people call this form of art prompt design, which is how I form the prompt. Because at the end of the day, if we'll go back to my Mid-Journey thingy that we just ran before. So this is the dog eating a banana, by the way. We have 3 different versions. Here looks a bit like a corn. And here we have some folks doing the Dragonfly writing. And so we can change the prompt. We can say, hey, what if it will be like Salvador Dali, or create it like it was 80s cartoon like, and then it will, the prompt design basically will help you to do it in a different way. And I heard about people that actually selling their prompts. So they design interesting prompts. They don't say to anyone what is the actual prompt that create this form of amazing art, and then they sell it because it creates really good type of art. And so that's pretty much it. So yes, I'd love to see a compilation of prompts we could use to streamline our UX writing process. That's awesome. I think we can do an article about that soon and publish it to all of our community members for sure. And that would be awesome. Yes, and ChatGPT can create a list of prompts as well, for sure. So I used it, for example, what would be, let's give it a spin, you know, what would be, what would be good prompts for a UX writer or ChatGPT? I guess it will give me a pretty ludicrous answer, but let's give it a try. A good prompt for ChatGPT might be write conversational script for a customer service chatbot. So I see something here about script for, okay. Now I will say generate 10 more examples just because I like it to work hard. And so we need to make it more accurate to a specific use case, in my opinion. So I would definitely try to curate some good, successful prompts for you, so you could actually try yourself on ChatGPT. But create script for it's mostly script for chatbots, so I don't think it's that successful. Okay, so that's about that. Thank you so much, Megan, for sharing your story. It's awesome. And let's move forward. So another interesting use case, I don't know if it's relevant to all of you, but SEO. So, so basically I managed to connect Airtable to with GPT-3, which is also ChatGPT, and automatically sync it using a tool named Whale Sync to a Webflow website. So in a click of a button, it managed to generate hundreds and hundreds of texts that actually synced with a website. So that's another use case. To be honest, I don't have a lot of success in this specific use case. But it's basically, I was trying to generate content about how to connect different tools for each other. And that's about it. I can share with you more information about it. I know that it's not extremely relevant to all of the UX writing folks out there, so I wouldn't talk too much about it. Oh, you can't see my screen? Oh, shit. Okay, so that's the screen. I can show you how it works live because I'm really into no-code automations, by the way. So, and the way that it works, I just take two different random tools like, I don't know, HubSpot and, I don't know, MailChimp. And then I will create content about how to connect between those. The way I do it is using a tool named Make. That's a tool that I use for creating no-code apps. And I'm going to press this button. Okay, I'm pressing the button, basically the webhook. I'm not going to go too technical here. I'm going to shoot it to Airtable, going to run questions to ChatGPT, like how do I connect HubSpot to MailChimp? What are the best use cases to connect HubSpot to MailChimp? What are the best no-code solution for HubSpot and MailChimp? So basically it takes it here, 1, 2, 3, and then it brings it back to Airtable. So it brings it back and now it's here. So basically it's generated content, then it's send it to Whale Sync here. And if I'll go here and refresh this page, so this is a test. So you see HubSpot, MailChimp, check it out. And basically I have data on a website right now, which is insane. So you can set up hundreds and hundreds of pages SEO-wise in a click of a button. Obviously, I would probably put a human eye to check this content, rewrite it, make sure that like it's edited and so on. But you know, this is a work of like a team of 15 writers that you could do with the click of a button with the right tool. So it's pretty wild in my opinion. And not that relevant for UX writing, but I just wanted to share with you this specific use case because I'm doing a lot of experiments lately. So that's more or less about that. There is also legalese and legal. And this is not a legal advice, by the way, but you can ask it to write a contract for a client work. So you can say, I'm a UX writer paid $90 an hour. The contract is for a monthly retainer with a bank of 75 hours. The name of the client is Tesla. So it basically creates a contract that you can modify or use. Then again, I wouldn't say that this is a legal advice or anything like that. And I would definitely run it through a lawyer, but it's also doing some heavy lifting for legal stuff as well. So that's also pretty interesting for all of you freelancers out there. Synonyms. So can you give me a synonym for the word choose? This is another use case that we had with a client that Megan and I were working on. So I wanted to know if we have another word for the word choose. So here are a few synonyms for the word choose, like select. And then we actually changed the word choose to select. So that's another interesting use case as well. Feedback, for example, what's the difference between choose and select? Because I wasn't sure exactly. So it actually gave me some context about very specific wordings and if you ever, you know, need to convince people about your choose of words, you can always run it for ChatGPT as long as it's free, right? And basically ask for feedback. Naming components could also be an interesting use case, Ramona. I agree. You can also create meeting agenda. So the meeting agenda generator. Another feedback. What do you think about using the word when starting a sentence in your UX copy? So it's a bit problematic because it's not clear and direct. I'm not sure that I agree in 100%, but it's interesting just to bounce this type of ideas. And I like that use case. Meeting agenda generator. So basically, you can use it to generate the outline of your agendas. The last experiments that I would like to show you is something that I discovered 3 days ago, and that's the ChatGPT. So 2 more use cases. So social media posts, like create LinkedIn posts talking about the pain of UX writers get involved earlier in the process. I'm not saying it's the best writing, but you can definitely spin it and rewrite it a little bit and edit it, and maybe bring some concepts for, you know, your personal UX writing brand on LinkedIn and talk about UX writing stuff on social media, and make the tool do most of the heavy lifting for you. So that's another interesting use case. And video scripts. So you can tell it basically to create video scripts for you. I use it once to do videos. I'm not a huge video expert, but it was really interesting to give it a try. So that's about it. The last thing I want to show you, definitely when you have the writer's block, Laura, you could use it. It's great for that, specifically for that. So you have the spreadsheet data analysis, which is something that I was trying to use the other day. So basically, you can have an extension called GPT for Sheets. You enable it, you need to connect it. I'm not going to do a tutorial about how to connect it. If you want, you can shoot me an email. But you can basically say something like that. This is the GPT formula. In the first one, you give it the prompt. In the second one, you give it the variable. These are less relevant, but this is 0 temperature. It means that it's going to be neutral. Text DaVinci 003 and 500. It's not that relevant. It's very technical stuff. But at the end of the day, it helped me to analyze data. And instead of writing any other formula, I don't need to do any formula, because I can do stuff like which number is the smallest, and then run it here. And then it will give me the smallest number if I will run it through here. So if I will just drag it like that, you can see that here it's fixed the formatting right here. Here it's wrote it in all caps. Here it's did an if statement. So I don't need to write formulas anymore. I can just write a prompt, and then the GPT will do the formula for me. Here I told it to remove the emoji. Here I told it what the population of this country, Japan. Let's change it to Brazil. And it will update it automatically, hopefully. And calculate interest. So you don't need to do heavy lifting formulas and checking formulas all over the internet anymore, because you can basically use the GPT formula from now on. It's available for Google Sheets. So that's the last use case that I wanted to share with you today. Let's go back to here. So yes, that's the Midjourney prompts that we had for you today. Thank you, Jacob. I also think I look nice. And so pretty interesting stuff. And I want to announce something pretty interesting today. So we have some big news at the UX Writing Hub. As long as I have your attention, I would say that from now on, the UX Writing Academy training program, we're going to incorporate AI, GPT stuff inside of the learning materials, because we understand how it can enhance the opportunities and possibilities to UX writers, content designers. I know that some people are frightened with the idea about being replaced by robots. I don't think that this is the case. So we're basically going to create more and more content for all of you out there about how we use this type of use cases that I showed you today in order to be better at UX writing, in order to work faster, better, and so on. I will answer questions by the end of it. Feel free to throw your questions in the Q&A and I will answer them. And a lot of job placements, excellent student stories, graduates that are working all over the industry. Now we're giving them the tool of learning also about AI and UX writing, which is awesome, in my opinion. Aaron and myself, the co-author of the program, are going to invest all of the 2023 to incorporate in this cohort starting this week in January, and the UX Writing Academy, AI-related content and how we could be better at UX writing with it. So stay tuned for that. We're going to incorporate it in the UX Writing Flex program and the UX Writing Academy program. This is a very good program, helping people to get into the field. You get one-on-one mentor, career services, people that help you to get into the field in case you want to get into the field, 20 and something drill down exercises, feedback on all of your assignments, and also real projects for a real company. And we really try to bring you the best possible companies out there. And so in case you're interested, this is the link to the Academy. And this is the link to the Flex. The only difference is the Flex is for people that need more flexible schedule. Academy is for people that want to work with us with cohorts. If you want to know the differences, go to the course compare page. And if you're interested to join today, use the coupon code essentials123. And you get 5% discount. And that's more or less about it. And that was my sales speech. And now I will answer questions related to the topics that we talked about today. So questions. Yes. And by the way, yes, we will share the presentation. We will share the recordings. I see a lot of UX Writing Academy alumni here. Very happy to have you here today. I'm so happy that years after finishing the program, you're still here with us. So that's awesome. Okay. So that's cool. So let's go to the Q&A. Okay. Will ChatGPT create issues with plagiarism? So in my opinion, we shouldn't use the content as is from ChatGPT in our content. We should just bounce back and forth ideas. take the good ideas and use them. And then I don't think it's plagiarism as well. By the way, you can ask questions, Megan and Nir. We will take the next 10 minutes to answer questions as well. I see Sarah Kessler. In the US, there is currently no protection for AI-generated art. Not sure if it applies to text or only images. Do you know anything about how to protect IP that may be created using AI assistants? To be honest, Sarah, I don't have any idea. That's why I don't use AI art for now for too much of a commercial use. I think it's an issue that we need to understand exactly how to solve. But I do think that now that we have this type of tools, we need to see how we can use them. I think that artists should learn how to use them. I think, because it's running on a database of artists, we should definitely create more art, so the database would be bigger. Anyway, just an idea. I don't know almost nothing about this topic. Faith is asking, what do you think of certain views of ChatGPT that could replace Google in the near future? So I think that that's a valid point. I found myself use ChatGPT lately instead of Google, so I really don't know. With that being said, Google is pretty useful when it comes to finding lists and content. I really don't know. It's a very good question. You have also a Chrome extension that for every Google, for every Google search that you have, it's also search it in the box next to it in ChatGPT, so you can use actually both of them. Other questions? One last thing. So I created a Discord channel named the AI Makers Lab, which is all about talking about just AI experiments like the one that I showed you right now. It's absolutely free, and I'm going to post there different ideas, and it's not specifically to UX writers, but I want to invite you to join it in case you're interested, just like with the experiment that I had with the spreadsheet and the SEO and so on. So I'm going to keep doing those experiments, and that's why I've built a Discord channel named the AI Makers Lab. So if you're interested, join the Discord channel. It's not a UX Writing Hub entity, but I'm going to talk about AI specific stuff over there, like Midjourney and so on. So if you're interested, join the Discord channel as well. And yes, you're going to get the recordings via email. We will send it to you as soon as possible. Megan, there is a question for you. Do you think we should be transparent to the client for the manager in referencing ChatGPT as a source? Would it be thought of as fake or inauthentic if we do that?
I think it depends on our transparency with our clients. We absolutely need to let them know how our work is coming to us and what our process is. Personally, I don't work in a way that I wouldn't be proud to explain. I'm using it as a tool to leverage my speed for them and to make sure that I'm producing the very best product that I can. But at the end of the day, I'm responsible for making sure that I have been very careful to meet their needs, edited, checked my sources, and made sure that my final product to them is my best work. So I think being open about how you're getting there is important, but making sure you're using the tools responsibly is equally important.
Yes, that's a very good question. I think definitely we should be transparent. With that being said, I'm pretty sure that many people would enjoy right now the leverage of their time. So basically they could be more efficient and sell their hours and do more things in those hours. So maybe they could charge more, they could be more efficient, they can produce more outcome out of it. So that's interesting. It's a very good question. Can you go over the apps connection things again? So Laura asked, so that's basically a tool named Make. So I can definitely show it to you if you want. So let's Make. It's very technical. So if you're interested in that, I will probably post more about it in the AI Makers Lab in that channel because it's not UX writing related stuff. So stay tuned in the Discord channel, and I will post a lot of tutorials about how to do no-code related stuff, because not a lot of people know it about me, but I'm very enthusiastic about no-code and now AI and how to connect between those. And I think we could build interesting products and services without knowing how to code. And I think it's also a valid point for user experience people. We could actually build apps now without needing to code. So that's why I've built the Discord channel, AI Makers Lab, so I could share more thoughts and ideas over there. Yoni is saying, what's the Chrome extension you mentioned? So I actually wrote a blog post about it in the AI Makers Lab. So we'll just share with you the blog posts. It's called, yeah, I made a video as well. Check it out, it's here. So you have a link to it in the chat. Thank you, Avia. Thank you so much. Very happy to have you here. Okay, let's take more questions. Anyone want to ask anything about Midjourney, maybe? Maybe a question to Nir or to myself about Midjourney and these type of tools, because there is a lot of things to cover there as well, in my opinion. Anyone? Okay. Oh, I see one more question. Top 3 or 5 process steps that ChatGPT can help UX writers. Journey flows, formats, overviews, user guides, etc. Or that is too ambitious? I don't think it's too ambitious, Jennifer. I think the name of the game here is to experiment and to just try your best and experiment with it, like Nir did, like Megan did, like I did. And that's what it's all about. And you know what? You can feel free to share your experiment in the Discord channel, because I'm all about sharing the experiments and see what other people are coming up with. Yes, we're going to share with you the recording, Simon. Chaya is asking, what are keywords that should be included in a good prompt? That's a good question. It depends. And every prompt have different purpose. So I recommend to just to iterate on your prompts until you find the best results. Noach is saying, hey, Noach, good to see you here. With the cost of producing text dramatically lower now, what do you think will distinguish content as valuable in the future? And my answer for that would be great writing. Because I think that while text is dramatically lower, I think that good content is becoming more expensive, you know? That's my 2 cents about it, because I feel like humans produce way better. The human eye that manage the ChatGPT and all of those AI related stuff is crucial, at least for now. I hope that forever we'll have humans operating these tools and not tools that operating these tools, making us completely not relevant. But to be honest, I really don't know. Thank you, Noah, for this question. Miguel is asking, do you guys think AI technologies will be going private or not as accessible as those seen today? I think so. I think that ChatGPT is going to cost money in the near future and not as accessible. And I think that now, basically, we are the beta testers and we're just feeding the machine with data, and then they're going to shut us off. So I recommend everyone to check it out right now before they shut us off. That's my 2 cents about that. Yeah, Alice saying about SEO. Doesn't the search engine recognize that the context was AI generated? So that's a very good question. There is this tool named AI Content Detector that you can just run it through it and give it a shot. And usually it's detect if it looks like a human wrote it or not. Yeah, so let's say that we can take data from here. And let's say if it detects it or not. Okay, so it says it's 20% human generated content. Interesting. I don't know what the parameters here. Let's check the contract, for example. Oh, it's working slow, so let's wait. Okay, let's give it a shot. Human generated, and it's 100% not human generated. So it's having some hard time to analyze these days if it's like human generated or not. And by the way, Nir, feel free to drop your LinkedIn if and everyone, if you want to add Nir and talk to him and ask him questions related to Midjourney. Okay, Kalubi is asking, is the beta testing closed at the moment? No, it's open for everyone. It's free and open for everyone. Daniel, can ChatGPT working on some kind of watermarks for generated content? Oh, it's not a question. And I think you're right. I think that they are working on it. And I think that we're going to have AI wars where, companies are going to fight also how to remove that watermark, right? And maybe another AI tool that will remove that watermark. Who knows? So that's more or less about it. Thank you, everyone. As I said before, feel free to join the AI Makers Lab Discord channel. And if you're interested to learn about UX writing and the combination of AI and UX writing, I want to invite you to join the upcoming cohort of the UX Writing Academy. It's going to be a fun one. It's going to start tomorrow. And I'm very, very happy that you stayed all of the time. 150 people are here right now. So I'm very happy that you stayed. It was fun to be here. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. And join us for more sessions in the future. And I will send you in the email the recordings and all of the relevant links. And as always, it was a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much, Nir Gottlieb, for being here with me today. Awesome. And Megan, thank you also for sharing.
Thank you.
The knowledge and the story and so on. And see you next time, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. I'm going to add one more time the Discord invite. Ciao, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.